Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a colorful paper plate flower. The supplies that you'll need for that are going to be 4 paper plates. They can have the wax on them or not. It would work better without, but these are going to have that wax on them. A marker or a pencil of some sort. A stapler, or you can use glue. This is going to be how we attach each layer. Scissors, and then whatever you're going to decorate with. So I have watercolor paints, but you can use markers or crayons, color pencils, anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Our first thing is going to be to create each layer of our petals using the 4 different plates. I've already cut out 3 just to kind of speed things along a little bit, but I'm going to show you how I cut out the 1 so you can kind of see this here. So I've got a larger and then a little smaller, and then I'm going to cut out my smallest one here. And you can always draw on the back of your paper plates kind of like the shape that you're looking for, if that's helpful for you, something to follow along with. But really I just kind of went and I gave these all scalloped edges, and then here I changed the shape just a little bit. It'll give it a little bit more definition and character. But I want to make one more flower shape just a little smaller than this one. So that's what I'm doing. And again, I'm just like giving them scalloped edges or rounded edges, nothing too fancy, but you can get as creative as you want with it. It doesn't have to be just the standard shape. So that's kind of what we're looking for, is 4 different shapes here. So next what we're going to do is we're going to curl all of our petals using the Sharpie. So what I do is I just stick it on the edge here and just kind of wrap it. That way it kind of gives it this curl effect. And that's going to give the flower a little bit more depth, a little bit more detail, and kind of appear like more of a natural flower, because you know flowers aren't flat in nature. So I'm just going to go around and do that to each of these. You can also do this after you've colored or painted your flower. I find it's a little easier just to do it now. I mean, we're gonna fluff them once they are all put together anyway, just to kind of make them look a little fuller. But I'm just kind of going through and curling them all. Now when you go to color your flowers, let me do that one a little bit more. Like I said, you can use anything really. Markers, crayons, colored pencils, and today I just happen to have watercolor. I don't have any markers or crayons on hand, so this is what I'm working with. So let me get this all here. This is quite a longer process, but again, we're just kind of looking for that, how it's kind of curling those edges there. Let me do this one. And I find that it works better if you give yourself longer petals, like this one here. They curl a lot better, but for the bottom ones I like to do something a little less drastic, I guess. But it does work better, that's for sure. Almost done here. Again, this is a little bit longer of a process. But that's kind of like a rough thing. And if you accidentally rip it, it's totally fine. Once you paint it and color it, you're not really going to see that. So then we want to layer our flowers from largest to smallest, kind of like that. And you can already see that it's starting to take shape a bit. But I try to off-center my petals just to kind of give it more of a natural look. And then you're going to take your stapler, and you can always ask if your parents are around to help you with this part of it. But you're going to staple through the middle. Give me a second here. the larger stapler works best. But again, I only have the small one, so we're just kind of working with what we got. But that's really what we're looking for. And like I said, once you go through and you start coloring this, it's gonna flatten again, but we're gonna go through and refluff everything, that way it's nice and full looking. So I'm gonna just start painting a little bit here, just so you can kind of see what we're going for. This one I'm gonna start with a red base. And again, I'm just doing the watercolor because that's what I had. I'm gonna do this darker red in like the middle of these flowers, or these flower petals, excuse me. And we're gonna add color around to the outside of them. You can also use, like, if you have stickers or anything like that. Really, you can decorate these however you see fit, to be honest. Because they don't have to be, you know, they don't have to be realistic. So when I'm painting, and same thing goes when you're coloring, you don't have to go all the way into the middle because you're never going to see it. So I'm just going around the edge, just to where I can get some of that color. And then I'm going to add some orange. And I'm doing complementary colors with all of this. That way it's not like it's clashing and making, you know, browns and all that stuff, because we want our flowers to be bright and vibrant and all that fun stuff. And you can see, like, when I'm watercoloring, I'm not actually filling in all the edges all the way to the, or excuse me, all the way to the edge, because I'm going to go back and take my water and kind of mix them in together, and then that's what's going to take it to the edge. And again, it doesn't have to be anything exact, because, you know, flowers have all kinds of different shapes and colors, and nothing is actually super uniform, so it's kind of nice. But kind of that's the start, and then I'm going to just work my way into the middle. And like I said, once you continue to color, these will probably flatten out a bit, which is totally fine, because we're going to fluff them here in just a second. But when I get to the center, I always add a few dots, or this is where I was saying you could add maybe some fun stickers here in the center to kind of cover that staple up. But it's totally up to you. I am going to set this one to the side. We want to make sure before we do our final movements and all that stuff, fluffing it, that it's completely dry if you do paint it. That way you don't get it all over the place. But instead of painting this whole one, I have one that I had started, which was, just flip that over there, purples and blues and greens, which I really love how it turned out. But once it's dry, I take them and I kind of curl each section in together, and that's what I mean by fluffing it. So you're kind of giving it depth so it's not all flat. But that's kind of what you're going for. And again, like I said, I added some dots into the middle here using the paint, but if you had stickers, that would be cool. And then I did some white splatters around the edge, but I think this would make a really cool decoration for your room if you wanted to. You could do like a whole floral display, and these colors are some of my favorites, so that's why I went with those. But that's really about it. Super easy, really simple. Like I said, you can use anything to decorate it with. But I hope you guys enjoy, and make sure to tag us on Facebook or Instagram with your finished products. So thanks again, guys. Bye.